Wakanow Salami, the Senior Vice President, Product Strategy and Marketing at Wakanow. Wakanow, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm fine. Well, your season is coming.
Yes.
But by now you should be feeling the vibes. If you want to compare demand between last year and this year, any difference, positive, negative?
I think it's positive. We're seeing the demand already.
So it's better this year?
It is better.
Oh, nice.
There's a lot of anticipation. Hotels are also getting really filled up. So it's quite difficult to get hotel space in Lagos right now. So
in Lagos, what about outside Lagos?
Particularly, the focus is on Lagos for now, because that's where we see that the demand is coming from. But I know that it would expand to Abuja and other parts of the country. But presently, Lagos is difficult to get hotel space.
So you guys are really feeling the vibes of Detty December?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Oh,
yes.
Nice. I'm so glad you're very positive about that. Some people try to hide, when they are making some gains. But generally, when you look at the Nigerian tourism sector, are we intentional about it? I know we have a very vocal minister at this time, but are we very intentional about working? I know the federal government, they now have a Detty December, but I mean, somebody said this is a bit too late for that, at least for 2025, but I guess it's better than not at all.
I think it's fine when we start to take steps, right? Better late than ever. Right, but I think that the tourism sector in Nigeria needs a serious shift, right? And I was thinking about it before. Growing up, we had places like the Slave Memorial in Badagry. We had Whispering Palms. We
still have those places. Just I don't know how active they are. The last time I went to Badagry, I mean.
Just to think about it, for example, access to those places too is quite important.
Exactly.
Particularly in Lagos. Badagry was being fixed for a long time. Access to Badagry was limited because of traffic, but it's better now. But
to those sites, the museum there, the last time I went there was being handled by some family people. So you are not sure of a structure, you're not sure of security, you don't know who.
We need the government to step in and just create a lot of structure around how we look at tourism. I talk about intentionality is very important. How do we intentionally make sure that Nigeria is a tourism hub? We have a lot of beautiful landscapes and places that people need to visit, that people need to know about. Look at Olumorok, in Abeokuta. It's stood test of time as a tourism location, but there are other locations in the country that we need to highlight and make sure that we're intentionally showing the public that we have beautiful places that people can visit within the country.
One heartbreaking. I used to produce a travel and tourism program here on Channel some years back, and a heartbreaking moment for me was I went to Niger State in a certain year, so I'm not calling any governor out, and Niger State has some very historic, very historic, like where Nnamdi Azikiwe went to school. And I thought I would have a lot of sites. When I went there, they were in the bush. In fact, you'd be scared of snakes to go in there. So I went to the commissioner and tried to challenge the commissioner. And the commissioner told me, look, we're not developing it, and there's nothing you can do about it. And who are you reporting to? You're supposed to report to the governor or to who? Do you get? So sometimes we have these potentials very much. There's so much there, but nobody's giving attention to it, I guess because it's not oil money, it's not readily available for, state governments especially to take.
I think we need to take a step back when we talk about tourism and look at the commercial side of it, right? Tourism is growing in Nigeria, just not in the way that we're thinking about it. Think about the nightlife economy that we have in Nigeria.
Do we have nightlife with insecurity?
We do. And kudos to Lagos State government with Detty December. Last year there was a lot of involvement. This year there's even going to be more involvement. Security, traffic management, just making sure that everybody that comes to Lagos is able to. What we have in Lagos today now is over tourism in 1 month. And it's difficult to just have that inflow of a lot of people coming in without that, capacity to manage them, which is what the state government is trying to do to manage. But we do look at that holistically around the country. How do we ensure that, tourism is growing? Some of those sites that you talk about were not commercially viable. That's why they're breaking down, right? If you find people visiting them and paying to visit them, you find that even the private sector would, continue to invest in those areas, and you see that it would grow. But that's what's happening today. You're seeing that the interest locally for tourism is very different from what people think that it is.
So, but because you keep talking about Lagos, yeah?
Yes.
But we have more than Lagos in Nigeria.
Yes,
and most of those sites are actually outside Lagos. We have beautiful places. I know when the former governor of Cross River State was there, he tried to bring a lot of attention, to Obudu and all of that now. I don't know if you can go to Obudu. Maybe the road has been fixed. I haven't been there in a
I was
couple
going
of
to
years.
talk about that as well.
Because the last time I went there, by the time you get to Obudu, your whole body is aching you.
Yeah.
You cannot have any fun.
If you think back when we used to fly to different parts of the country for under 100,000 naira, and today one-way ticket is to Abuja is 300,000.
You're thinking of ₦500,000 naira to go and
you
come
can
back.
imagine. So moving people around within the country is also very difficult now. Road transportation is also a challenge because of insecurity, and this is why you see people who have interest to visit certain areas, parts of the country, to go see how beautiful it is actually restricted because of the fact that they can't move easily. We have to consider all those factors and see how, even the tourism economy within the country, when the government is trying to address, they're looking at it from the point of, okay, how do we create accessibility to these sites? It's a key factor that we need to consider. Yeah.
So do we hear the minister talking about these things?
I guess, when you talk about, the government trying to attack a problem.
Because everything is, I know the sites are in the states and all of that, but everything should be coordinated from the federal.
They would. I'm not trying to defend the government or speak for them, but I always assume that the first step for every government will always be from the policy standpoint. Creating the policies that guide everyone to say, okay, this is how we think the framework should look like. I think that's where the government is right now. Even though we say some of the decisions like the Detty committee is coming late, but the policies and frameworks that are set for this year would help next year. And that's the way I think about it.
But you see intentionality, yeah?
Yes, 100%. We have to be intentional. We have to be intentional.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Bola Salami, Senior Vice President, Product Strategy and Marketing, and Wakanow. Appreciate your time on the program.
Pleasure.
All right.